Good morning, YouTube. How are you this morning? I'm all right. I'm not too bad, I guess. It is 11 a.m. Central Time, and I am in Fredericksburg, Virginia, at John Carpenter Building Supplies. Wow, what can I say? Yesterday was a chore. Let me think. Okay, when we were talking, I was getting ready to leave over there in Heaters, West Virginia, and I'd already looked at my route plan and everything else, and I had decided, instead of taking the long way around, sticking to the interstates, to take US 33 through the mountains. I've driven those routes before. I had not driven that particular road before. Needless to say, it was fun, but harrowing. When I left, I told you I was going to the pilot. I did. I went over to the pilot, bought fuel, parked the truck, went inside, took a shower, then ran across the street to Walmart, bought some more water, some Dr. Peppers, and some food because I was just about out because I didn't go home for the weekend. Amazingly enough, I was actually able to get all of that done, the fueling, the showering, and the Walmart shopping trip done in 55 minutes. I was amazed. I mean, just usually, I guess probably because I didn't have to wait to fuel, and I didn't have to wait for a shower, and it didn't take that long for me to do that. So I looked at it and I was like, okay, I can make it all the way. Not a problem. I had 5 hours of driving time available. It was only 250 miles. No. US 33 is a truck route. It's gauged for 120,000 pounds. Why, I don't know. Oversized load, over length, overweight. Yeah. You cross 3 big ranges going through it. I don't remember the name of the first one, but go through over the Appalachian Range, you go over the Allegheny Range, and then you go over another one that I cannot remember. And as you go, they get steeper. Going up wasn't a problem. It was coming down because I scaled out at 79,800 full of fuel. And some of those grades are 10 and 12%. And they're no. And it was snowing on and off as I was up in the upper elevations. It was a good time. I had to stop several times to do brake cooling and brake checks, especially after Allegheny, because it was, I think, 4.5 or 5 miles downhill switchbacks at 10 to 11% grade. Borderline is I got to Harrisburg, Virginia, to the pilot. With 4 minutes left on my 14. It took 5 hours to go about 135 miles between the traffic, the hills, the stops for the brake checks, and everything else. It was a crazy, crazy day. Got to Harrisburg, Virginia last night to the pilot. I'll have to rank that one as the second worst pilot in America that I know of. I think, though, all the ones on the East Coast are bad, but this one was, as far as traffic, and just ridiculous. I got there, and there was a couple of prime parking spots left. I didn't even bother to look for another one. The spot number 1, right as you come in, was open. So I pulled up. This guy was nice enough to move the barrier for me. I slid right in it, paid for it, was done. I went inside, I got a Subway sandwich because I didn't feel like cooking, and then ate it and crashed. While the video uploaded for yesterday. Just nuts day. Well, I got up this morning at 7, started heading in, and instead of going over the Shenandoah Range, because even though my brakes had a chance to cool overnight, I could still smell them, and I can still smell them now. But I decided to take the longer way around, added like 25 miles to the trip. I didn't care. Went around the Shenandoah Range by going around the north side and then coming down US 12. You still had one decent hill there, but it wasn't nothing big. But I love driving those mountains, but that heavy and those big steep hills, and when you're having problems, I'm gonna have to get my brakes checked. I think I wore a few inches off the pads. But no, it's funny. Well, I got here at 10 and found where to go, pulled around, took the tarps off, threw them off to the side, didn't fold them first, then took the straps off and pulled forward. The guy, by the time I got all the straps put away, the tarps folded and everything, the guy got me unloaded. And I'm done. I already have a load. I had a pre-plan. And of course, I've already sent my empty call, and now I have a load. I'm going over to Gladys, Virginia, to Georgia Pacific to pick up more particle board or plywood, however you want to call it. I'm taking that to Cincinnati, Ohio. Gladys is about 175 miles away. Only pays 150, but there's a restricted truck route in the way. I have to avoid it, so that's going to add about 20-25 miles. And then it's 400 something. 435, it's actually 455 or something driven to get there. All back roads. There's no, unless I take the interstates, and that's going to make it, that'll add like 200 miles, and I'm not doing that. Going to be another fun day. So I will talk to y'all in a while when I get to Gladys. Good afternoon, YouTube. How are you this afternoon? I am not too bad. Not too bad at all. It is about 2:50 in the afternoon Central Time, and I'm in Grady's, Virginia at Georgia Pacific Fiber Board Plant. Last we talked, I was leaving Fredericksburg, and I had a couple different routes to take and kind of played with them all and looked at them before I left, and decided to head down through Roanoke, come across US 360, and then get on Virginia 40 to come over here, which is on US 501. Kind of a good, interesting drive. I mean, it was nice. A lot of it was interstate until I got on the 360. Then it kind of cut down. We got on the George Washington Hall Henry Highway, Virginia 40. It went back to the old 2-lane no shoulder through the woods. Good drive. It took me a little over 3 hours to get here, even though it was only 170 miles. Mostly because I had to follow logging trucks most of the time, and since they were fully loaded, it was kind of slow. But things are kind of looking up. Looking at my route, most of my route on this one's going to be interstate out of here. Gonna head on up 501, cut across 460, and get on 81 and head over to 77. Take 77 north toward Cincinnati. I currently have 6 hours on my 14 and 4.5 hours drive time. I'm not really sure how far I'm going to get. I cannot stay here, and apparently they are running behind and running very slow. They only have one loading bay working, and they have a two slot tarp bay. There's 2 trucks in front of me, and there's about 8 waiting to tarp or in the process of tarping. So I might be here a while. I'm hoping that I can get in and get out of here so I can at least get to Wytheville, to the Flying J for the night. That's roughly 3 hours away. So can't spend any more than about 2.5, 3 hours here. And most of my day tomorrow is going to be doing the 300 miles to get up there. So just kind of that's the way it is when you have to drive to unload and then run to load. I don't like doing it that way, but sometimes it's just the way it is. That's pretty much it for today. No more mountains other than what's on the interstate. No more back roads, big hills, which I'm kind of glad for because I'm still wore out from yesterday. So until tomorrow when I unload, keep the shiny side up, 73s. Be safe.